Barcelona put to bed some of the criticism they received after that defeat against Chelsea with a 3-1 win. Here is Hansi Flick.
I'm happy that we won the 3 points. I think this is the most important thing for today. Of course, I'm not happy with some situations because we have too many ball loss. But at the end, we have to say that with everything what we did today, how we managed it was okay, and the 3 points was the most important thing. Also, we have now I think 4 in a row. It's good. It's good for the moment, but we're never happy with this, and we need to improve many things, and we work on that.
So that win puts Barcelona 2 points clear of Real Madrid at the top of the table. Of course, Xabi Alonso's side in action tomorrow away against Girona. For more on this, then, let's welcome in. Look at all this lot. Alex Kirkland's here, as is Mario Suarez. But let's start, shall we, with Luis Garcia. Luis, of course, you were there at the Barcelona game. What was your overriding impression of it?
I think that I agree with Hansi Flick. The best, it was the 3 points, because after what we've seen of Barcelona, it was a good reaction after conceding very early on the game. Good moments with the 3 up front, with Lewandowski, with Rafinha getting into the channels, Lamine Yamal making what is Lamine Yamal all about, tricks, skillfuls, and scoring goals and assisting. Dani Olmo very well organized in that position, losing sometimes some balls, tricky balls and difficult balls in the middle of the park. He's used to play in the last third, not in the middle. So when he loses in transition, Barcelona struggled today a couple of times. But in the end, and overall, very good and positive things. Pedri is back into the team. That's something that I'm sure that all the supporters of Barcelona are going to be very happy. 3 points and 4 in a row, as Hansi Flick just mentioned, and putting pressure on the side of Real Madrid. There are some issues that they need to continue working on. A lot of young players. We mentioned that they were 8 coming from the academy today in the 11 started. That's something to be proud of. And that's about it, because the rest of the thing, he was playing sometimes in the last second half. Very predictable, no creativity, and a lot of problems in transition. But that's something not new. We've seen it so far in Barcelona. But 3 points and keep on going to the next one.
Mario, huge plus, of course, to return to Rafinha. You saw in the first half what sort of impact he makes on these sort of games.
Yes, of course. I think last season with Lamine was the best player of the team in the last season for Barcelona. It's not just because the things he can do with the ball, assisting, scoring goals. It's the attitude, the pressure he makes without the ball. He wants to steal the ball as fast as possible. He's the one, or is the best, doing this first pressure when they lost the ball. And when he was not playing, I think the team missed him a lot. Also without the ball, with and without the ball, and I think it's a key player for Barcelona, for Hansi Flick, and is the good news. We're also with the result, with the back from Pedri, but I think Rafinha he has a lot of quality, but also is the different one up from Barcelona.
Yeah, just from a neutral's point of view, just so exciting to watch. And Alex, how much they needed the win after what happened against Chelsea. Of course, it wasn't just the defeat, it was the manner of defeat that there's been a real post-mortem over, not only in Catalonia, but in Spain overall.
Yeah, because Barca see themselves, and rightly so, as a top team in Europe and contenders for the biggest prizes for the Champions League. And what happened against Chelsea was a pretty rude awakening. It made Barca look like, kind of second-rate, nowhere near Chelsea's level. And you mentioned the reaction here in Spain. There's been a lot of kind of soul-searching here this week about the old question of La Liga versus the Premier League. Is La Liga sort of falling behind the Premier League with so much investment from the Premier League clubs? And games like that, results like that, performances like that against Chelsea don't really help La Liga's cause. But no, they bounced back this weekend. You guys talk about Rafinha. He was the big talking point after the game. Hansi Flick talking about him, and not just with the goals or the assists like today, but the off-the-ball work rate, the way that Rafinha is kind of a leader in this team, literally leading the press, and the work that he does out of possession, every bit is important. We've talked about Barca's sort of defensive fragility this season, and it's still there. We talk about the high line, but a lot of it is about what's going on ahead of that high line, and Rafinha is the #1 most important player in terms of making sure that the whole team functions when they haven't got the ball. So that's really good news. But yeah, still a little bit fragile at the back, and Joan Garcia being called into action in really key moments to keep them in it.
Atletico Madrid make it 7 wins in a row in all competitions, defeating bottom of the table Oviedo by 2-0. Mario, it's a great run for Atleti, and this was kind of the perfect scenario, wasn't it? Put the game to bed early on so you can rest players ahead of Tuesday.
Of course, I think today everything was perfect for Simeone. The first good half, Sorloth scoring 2 goals, Jano Black coming from the injury, giving some rest to important players, making some rotations also in the second half, thinking on Tuesday. And now they arrive in the best form of the season against Barcelona on Tuesday. Barcelona is struggling, so I think today all good news for Simeone and Atletico. And now thinking on Tuesday, I think they can win there. It's going to be a really good match. And I think it's not favorite, but they have their chances. And I think it's going to be a really good match on Tuesday.
What's changed, Luis? Where's this run of form come from for Atleti?
Well, again, it's the confidence, but I'm happy to hear Mario just mentioning that Barcelona is struggling when he's at the top of La Liga, but it's fine. We'll see what happens on Tuesday. Because I think the good teams are arriving in a good moment. No fighting there, no fighting there, Shaka, don't look for it. But I think it's good. It's good to have the two teams arriving with positive results. I think that both teams are ready to fight against each other. I think it's going to be a fantastic test. Barcelona had an important one in Champions League, so they know that they have to be the best of the best if they want to win against this Atletico Madrid, because with the players rested and really in a great moment, I think it was 10 games or so in a row for Atletico Madrid at home. So that means that it's going to be very difficult to beat this confidence Atletico Madrid side. But what you said, I think the most important change right now for Atletico Madrid was that the confidence on the players, the results coming back. So now you got a lot of players getting involved. The rotation, it doesn't matter, because every single one of them that come and joins the team, it looks strong, and with that confidence that allow you to prove things and try things.
Sets things up beautifully, doesn't it, for Tuesday, Alex?
Yeah, it's perfect. And we always, look, sometimes we get a bit carried away and overexcited about the prospect of a 3-team title race, even a 4-team title race. But right now, Atleti have put themselves in that position, in that conversation where they are chasing hard on the heels of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Look, they're not going to be judged on games like tonight against teams like Oviedo. They'll be judged on the performances in the big games against the biggest teams. And this is one of those. And don't forget, what we've seen this season is a very different Atletico Madrid here at the Metropolitano and away from home. They've got 1 or 2 results away from home in the last few weeks, but generally this season, this has been their fortress. This is where they've looked like the real deal, and away from home, they've struggled. So let's see if they can take another step towards changing that dynamic at Barcelona on Tuesday.
Now, speaking of being overexcited and carried away, I tell you what, this has gone viral. This is Mario working out this morning, nude, for some reason. I'm not sure, does this help you focus? Do you feel you burn more calories, Mario? What is it?
Yeah, burning some calories, of course, and getting ready for Tuesday. I will train in Barcelona with Lucho if he wants.
Right.
We can train together.
If you're both naked, it could break the internet. I'll tell you that. Alex, are you joining them?
This is not the sort of content you find on my social media feed. None of this at
all. Nor Shaka's, if we're honest. Thank you very much. Have you seen Sidlow crying at all? Obviously, you're at the Atleti Oviedo game.
I haven't seen Sid yet. If he's still around, if he hasn't sort of slunk off home, I'll go and find him and console him for you.
Oh, don't do that. Laugh at him. That's what it's there for. You look on paper, Girona-Real Madrid. Why even bother talking about it? But of course, what we've seen from Real Madrid over the last few days means that this really could go anywhere, considering the pressure that is building on Xabi Alonso.
And it's something that Xabi Alonso is not used to dealing with. During his time at Bayer Leverkusen, he was the king, and no one could question him. When I think about the players that he did fall out with, it wasn't a problem because he's Xabi Alonso. And now he's at Real Madrid, and I think he's having to learn things that he knew were going to come. It's just that how is he going to negotiate them? Whether it's the style of play question, where he's got a squad of players who are good when they are out of control. And the one thing that Xabi Alonso hates more than anything, as I learned from needling him with questions about it for 2 years, was hectic. He wants control at the best of times. And the problem is that at Real Madrid, you've got the players who can kill them, who can kill your opponents in any sort of way. And I'm interested to see how united this team is, because that was a word that he used in his press conference today. He's saying that we are united. And the thing is that the only real way of seeing that is seeing a performance on the pitch. So yes, of course, they are very much expected to win this, and a huge boost to them by the fact that Rudiger and Militao are both back from injury, especially when Raul Asensio has gastroenteritis. So despite only having one fit centre-back during the week, it was nearly down to 0 by the looks of it. So some relief there for Real Madrid at least. But I think that tomorrow is all about performance and how convincing this team can be, particularly after what Xabi Alonso's had to go through in these last few weeks.
And once again, he's had to field questions, Luis, about Vinicius Jr. and the relationship between the two, with reports suggesting that Vinicius Jr. won't sign a new contract as long as Alonso is in charge. Are you surprised how public this has become?
Yes, a little bit. I'm not surprised because we follow Real Madrid for quite a long time. We've seen what is happening in the last 10, 20 years with the manager. They haven't been trying to put out of the comfort zone to some of the players and what is happening when this happened. So I wasn't surprised when Xabi Alonso arrived to Real Madrid. I wasn't surprised when he tried to make his footprint on this Real Madrid, trying to change the system, trying to change the player, making the Real Madrid about rotation. Key players, of course, they are not rotating, but the rest of them they can use to, because there are a lot of games and you cannot play all of them the way that Xabi Alonso wants to be played. And something that I was surprised is the result. When they are not arriving, when the Real Madrid start getting those kind of draws, is when all the rumors, all the sounds start coming out from the players, from the media, and so on. So, yes, a little bit surprised by how the media is being handling this. But I think that Xabi Alonso is doing a great job. I think he's trying to be calm. He's trying to give importance to what it matters the most. That is what the players can offer. No controversy with Vinicius Jr., no controversy with Valverde, no controversy about any of the players, because you need those players in the key moments. So tomorrow I'm sure that we'll see a good Real Madrid. Hopefully they increase the intensity and energy that we saw in the last games against Elche, because it's going to be a similar display and they can get a good result. Getting a problem with no other result, then we are going to have a very, very long week talking about it.
Indeed we will. Last thing to you, Archie, as you mentioned, 2 years of chatting to Xabi Alonso, mostly annoying him. What sort of reaction are you expecting when he sees you tomorrow?
Why have you followed me here?
Yeah,
it's a question everybody asks of you.
Yes. Let's not get personal. Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated. Just a reminder then, Girona against Real Madrid, our feature game tomorrow. Coverage starts at 2:30 Eastern. You can catch it on ESPN Plus and ABC.
Leeds come away from this one wondering how it slipped.
So it finishes Manchester City 3, Leeds 2. Let's take a look at what that means for Manchester City's position in the table. They sit second, 4 points adrift of Arsenal. We're in action against Chelsea on Sunday. For more on this, let's welcome in Don Hutchinson, shall we? It's weird, Don. I can go either way with this. You can say, oh, great spirit for Manchester City, getting that last-minute goal and getting the win. But it's really difficult to be positive about a side who were 2-0 up and cruising and then just seem to completely and utterly capitulate.
Correct, Dan. And I was trying to think, would Arsenal allow that? This Arsenal team, they wouldn't. I think if Arsenal were 2-0 up at half-time, you'd see them go and win the game 3-4 without any drama. It was strange because before the game, Haaland's on 99 goals, trying to set the record for 100. Phil Foden scores inside of a minute. Then I'm thinking, right, this is a Guardiola side in the past that would have hit Leeds for 5 or 6. They got the second on about 25 minutes, and you're thinking, right, second half, they're going to come out and they're going to take the game and they're going to walk all over Leeds. As Shaka said before, credit Daniel Farke a little bit. You know, he changed his system from a back 4 to a back 3, got his wing backs up the pitch, they pressed and they rattled City. Then all of a sudden at 2-2, City were in a world of trouble and they got the win from a brilliant strike from Phil Foden. But it left me coming away from the game thinking, that's not a City side that I think can chase down Arsenal, win the league. Not on that performance, not on the performance that they gave against Newcastle, but that performance today was more worrying. I think the City fans come away from the game thinking, glad they got the 3 points. Pep will be delighted, but inside he'll be furious at the performance.
That's the thing, isn't it? This isn't an anomaly. No. This isn't Manchester City cruising and all of a sudden they've dropped the ball. You could say maybe as Arsenal did against Sunderland. This was poor. It was poor against Bayern Munich, it was poor against Newcastle. And it's difficult to put up an argument as to why this team is going to fight all the way to the end with Arsenal.
I'm not sure that this team has that in them. And I say this, and again, give Farke credit, give Leeds credit for their comeback and at least making a game of this. It should have been 4-5 at half-time. The first half was really that easy for Manchester City. And just before the break, City missed another chance. Again, could have quite easily been 5 in the first half. And shots of Reinders and a couple of the other City players kind of laughing about it. And while you can't be too critical of players being relaxed on the field, you don't do that and then throw away a 2-goal lead. From the time you throw away that 2-goal lead, now all of a sudden this kind of relaxed atmosphere that you certainly closed out the first half with comes back to haunt you. And yeah, changes were made, and all of a sudden Leeds were given this lifeline. Again, City overplaying right to the edge of their own 6-yard box, allows Calvert-Lewin to score, and all of a sudden there's a game on their hands. And not only that, despite how dominant City were in the first half, Leeds get the goal, and there's this uncertainty around the entire stadium that the players start to feel as well. And truth be told, I thought Leeds would go on to win it. They get the second, and don't ask me what Guardiola was thinking with that challenge. And at that point, it really could have gone either way. Foden, who's been in great form, is a difference maker, but only just. And we're talking a team that's threatening to win the Premier League, and another that, at best, is hoping to stay in it.
Don, I'm being told that you said it was 50-50 last week between Arsenal and City. Is that correct?
Yes, I've moved well away from that, by the way.
When did you say that?
I was about 2 weeks ago when I thought Arsenal might have a little wobble after the Sunderland game and City won their game. I had to call it 2 weeks ago, but listen, it's way away from 50-50 now.
Yeah. What's wrong with them, Don? The players are good enough, aren't they?
Yes.
I tell you what, I think what we're looking at the name on the front of the house in terms of Guardiola, legendary manager. We're looking at Man City, and all have won trebles and all, but we're not looking at the same team. You know, when Kyle Walker departed in the summer, I was stunned they didn't buy a right back. They bought the likes of Reinders and bought Cherky, fantastic footballers. Aït-Nouri's another one, but he's a wing back. Doesn't strike me as a Man City wing backy sort of player. They needed a left back. So Nick O'Reilly, who started his life as a midfield player, has gone in at left back and done really well. Mateus Nunes as a midfield player who's gone in at right back. He was guilty for the second goal when he made a half-hearted challenge. He gave the ball away in the first place, and then once sort of they got themselves in a decent position, that's what happens when a midfield player playing at the back thinking he can take a touch to his 18-yard box. I mean, they've got fixtures that they could go and win. They've got Fulham next. They've got 3 or 4 Premier League games that on paper they should win, but they've got Real Madrid away in the Champions League. So you just look at this City side and you just think they're vulnerable. They're like Liverpool at the minute, where you score against them, they crack a little bit, they get anxious, they get nervy, and they're sort of lunging for the finish line. That's never been the Guardiola way. Normally when his team is 2-0 up, they strangle a life out you, they keep the ball, they go and score 3, 4 and 5, they look great. Now you're just looking at a team where you think, apart from Haaland, what are they?
I think, like you're saying they're not that... Last year they were the similar team, weren't they? And they recruited so strangely, as you say, in the summer, and now you're kind of bearing the fruits of that, in that you look so vulnerable at the back, which of course then leads me to your question. What's your percentage now, Don? My percentage now is 60 for Arsenal. Oh, OK. 30 for City and 10 for Chelsea. I'm going to give them a little sniff. OK, so you still think City are bigger contenders than Chelsea? Yeah, but I honestly think Arsenal will do what Liverpool last year, and they'll go and romp it by between 10 and 15 points. Fulham then with the victory, beating Spurs by 2-1. Don, where do we even start on Spurs? What can we say new that hasn't been said already? 3 clean sheets in 41. So I guess like it's Xhaka's not record back in the day. Thomas. Well, I was thinking of Xhaka actually when Vicario was getting booed, and I was thinking, I'm sure Xhaka's endured that at the chicken run at West Ham once or twice. Wow. That was harsh on the goalkeeper. That was very harsh. I mean, I come away from the game thinking, right, how many Spurs players could I give credit for today? And I was thinking 3. Van de Ven, without a doubt, was easily their man of the match. Koulibaly up front, and maybe Pedro Porro for his delivery. Apart from that,
honestly, I couldn't lean on anyone. I couldn't lean on the shape. I couldn't lean on any industry, any tempo in the first 45 minutes. Fulham should have been 3 or 4-0 up. And Harry Wilson's goal was, I was like, wow, that's one of the best goals I've ever seen. But to Xhaka's point, why is no defenders in Danso or another get on the line when Vicario makes a mistake? And it took them to half-time for them to have a good go. And they probably got a rocket off Thomas Frank at half-time. Then second half, they were so much better. But 2-0 down at half-time, you ain't got a chance of coming back and getting something from the game, I'm afraid, in the Premier League.
What's Thomas Frank doing wrong, Don?
It's hard, Dan, because I honestly think he's a very, very good manager, and I think he needs time. The team that I look at, I think they're young. I think, take away from today, when I've seen them with Qualomane and Tel and Xavi Simons in the same team, and the likes of Gray, Bergvall, they're very young. At the same time, if he wants to go experience in Paulinho or Bentancur, then there's not a lot of legs in that midfield, so I think he needs signings. I think he needs 1 or 2 in that midfield to provide a little bit of bite. But you're looking at a side, I mean, the home form's wretched. I mean, you know, you can lean on some away teams in the Premier League. Newcastle, for one, before today's win, and their away form's been awful. But normally, a team in the Premier League has really good home records. Spurs is awful.
The thing for me, right, and I'm a little bit torn as to how much blame Thomas Frank has to shoulder here. When you look at Spurs' lineup, when you look at who they have to come off the bench, great names, but everybody's bang average. Whether Don's being very kind to Kolo Muani today, I didn't see. I thought Van der Ven was good. Outside of that, I'm not sure. You look at the starting 11. How many of outside of Van der Ven, how many of the others get into any other Premier League, top 6 Premier League team? I'm not sure that there's a single one.
Yeah, but I get that point, Shaq. But you're against Fulham today.
Yeah.
You're not. You know, most of these players, in theory, could play for Fulham, could start that team.
Well, should be able to.
So the quality of players are out there. They're just clearly not being coached.
Yeah, you're against Fulham, and again in Thomas Frank's defence, first goal is a deflection. The second goal, don't ask me.
Shaq, come on.
No, I'm offering. This is my defence of Thomas Frank, right? First goal is a deflection. Second goal, I have no idea what Vicario is doing. And from there, you're looking at your front men, Kolo Muani, Richarlison. You bring Tel off the bench. You bring Xavi Simons off the bench. Bang average. They give you absolutely nothing.
Obviously, Thomas Frank were involved in during the summer.
Well, first of all, the Tel signing was an odd one because he was signed before Frank was announced as manager. So I don't know who gave that the green light, in all honesty. Xavi Simons, listen.
There's a reason that no one else wanted him.
Absolutely, there's a reason no one else wanted him. Kudus is an exciting, wide player, but he scored 4 goals for West Ham last year. Kudus is not a goal scorer. So you look at Spurs' attack, including Richarlison, who I've never been convinced about, even dating back to his Everton days. And you just wonder, where is that consistent goal scorer going to come from? Whether it's Solanke, who's always out injured, even when he's fit, he's not sparked this team in any kind of manner. So I'm a little bit sympathetic because I think this is a Spurs team that is made up of passengers.
Are you soft like Xhaka, Don?
No, I get where he's coming from, Dan, and you're right to ask the question, but I think we're all sort of scratching our heads thinking, like, what is the problem? He might just need a real refresh of that squad. And as Xhaka said, there might be some players that are not good enough to wear that Tottenham shirt. So maybe Thomas Frank's got to be a bit harsher on his players. It'll take him a little bit of time. He's only been through the door 5 minutes. He'll need a window to say, right, I've seen them now for a couple of months. I'm going to make changes either in Jan. I might tweak 1 or 2 things in Jan. But come the summer, because he still has to be in charge in the summer, it's not all on his watch. So in the summer, he's probably going to have to make some brave decisions and say to the board and the hierarchy, right, you need to get rid of about 5 or 6 injuries. They're they've been shot to bits of injuries, but that can be an excuse when you put out the team that they put out today in the last couple of weeks where they're losing games for fun. But I genuinely think when I look at this Spurs squad like Xhaka, it needs about 5 or 6 gone and 4 or 5, 6 top players to come in.
Very much so, cruising as it finishes then. Newcastle 4, Everton 1. A good result for your boyhood team, Don?
Great result. First away win of the season. They look good. The back four, I think Eddie Howe realised that's his preferred and he's number one back four. Kieran Tripper's going to be injured for a couple of months, but I think Tino Livramento now, I think he's probably hammered that right back slot his own. Lewis Hall's back from injury, so they've got to manage him just a little bit just to make sure he doesn't get injured again. And Dan Burn and Malik Chow, by the way, what a signer from AC Milan for about 35 million quid. An absolute bargain. And that's the Anthony Elanga I've been waiting to see in a Newcastle shirt for a while, Dan. I loved him at Forest. I thought in the summer when we signed him, I thought going to be amazing. Probably just lacked a little bit of confidence. Never quite got going with his consistency, but he was brilliant today. And that's what Eddie Howe needed. I mean, I know they lost the goal, so they didn't get the clean sheet, but so much better defensively. From an Everton point of view, wow, they were all over the place. They were wide open. That was very unlike a David Moyes side, especially after they defended with 10 men against Man United when they were brilliant and hardly conceded any chances on goal at all, barring one or two. Defensively today, for the first half an hour, Everton all over the place.
Should have slapped a teammate early on, bish, bash, bosh, no problem. Anything you want to add, Shaq?
I thought Newcastle were really good on the road, kind of given their struggles on the road. I'm like Don here. I was really surprised at Everton and how they set up. And while Newcastle got a good start to the game, Everton then dominated without really testing Ramsdale in all honesty. And then just after the second goal, they just seemed to down tools for a bit. And from there on in, you could only see Newcastle extending a lead, which is exactly what they did. Surprising from them.
So that finishes Bayern Munich 3, St. Pauli 1. Just a reminder of what that means at the top of the table. Bayern Munich then 8 points clear of Leipzig in second. Archie Rintut joins us. Of course, he's in Spain ahead of Girona against Real Madrid. But let's put your German hat on, Archie. Have the Bundesliga had a word with Bayern to say, look, we need you to make things a little more exciting?
I tell you what, the way they're playing right now in the last few games, it has been a bit tighter and a bit more exciting. I think Manuel Neuer's goalkeeping right now is making things a bit more exciting. I noticed that Xhaka was silent there about the ball slipping in at the near post. I know that not every time it goes in at the near post, it's a goalkeeping mistake. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that this is the fourth game in a row that Manuel Neuer has looked uncomfortable when a goal has been conceded. And Bayern have Luis Diaz to thank for rescuing them here, not just with that late winner, albeit there was another goal after that, but also the way that after a first half where they hit the post twice, he's the guy who comes up with a bit of magic that no one's expecting because he's on the floor, and that flick is world class. It reminded me of his move away at Union Berlin a few weeks ago where Bayern were in a rut, 1-0 down, and up he pops as well with a moment where you're going, wow. And he's been such an upgrade, I think, on Leroy Sané since coming in this summer because he just gets on and does his job. And sure, he also misses chances like Leroy Sané does, but there's no qualms about him knuckling down and just doing everything for the team. Okay, he got sent off away at PSG, and I think that he was the player that Bayern missed the most during the week away at Arsenal. You really noticed that, as Vincent Kompany calls it, the chaotic creativity that he brings was not there. And sure, against PSG, we saw more of the chaotic side with what happened with the red card for Achraf Hakimi. But he really has become such an important player to this Bayern team. A few players were not on it. Konrad Laimer, who has been superb for Bayern this season, either fullback position. He was at fault for the first goal. He lost 2 tackles there. And I think that you do have to just bear in mind, this Bayern team is tired. We are maybe seeing them pay the price a little bit for their squad management in terms of the depth that they have. And that was mentioned a lot at the start of the season. But look, ultimately, I think in terms of the squad management, Vincent Kompany has done an excellent job. And as he said after this one, you are going to have games like this in a season. And even if you are Bayern Munich.
One last thing, Archie, before you go off into the nightlife of Barcelona. Looking at it...
Girona?
Yeah, but are you not in Barcelona? I thought you commute there tomorrow. You see?
No, I've got to get a feel for the city first, Dan.
Schoolboy error.
I've got to come here.
Schoolboy error. Should have gone out in Barcelona tonight, got the early train.
That was last night.
Yeah, good man. We had Jurgen Klinsmann on after the defeat against Arsenal, and I asked him, how would this be received in Germany, the manner of the defeat? And he goes, to be honest, it won't be too much of a big deal. Is that how it played out over the last couple of days?
Yeah, it was because Bayern have been so good already this season. And also, I think that the victory over PSG and the manner that they played in that first half brought them a lot of credit for the way that they were beaten by PSG at the Club World Cup, and that you can't forget that this is a Bayern side that has been doing this without Alphonso Davies, but most importantly, without Jamal Musiala. And for them to put in such a dominant performance against PSG, I think that, look, Bayern do not have the depth that Arsenal have, which is something that I wouldn't have imagined saying 5 years ago, but it's the truth, and we saw it. And I think the words to take into account most of all were actually from Harry Kane after the game, who was saying, we are going to see this Arsenal team in March and April, because what Vincent Kompany has shown is that this team is capable of learning, it's capable of developing. And that's, I think, why people are going, well, okay, we've given you time, Vincent Kompany, and your words have paid off. So let's see what comes around the corner by the time we get to the spring.
Let's go back, shall we, to our feature game today. Atletico Madrid taking on Oviedo. Atleti with a 2-0 victory, both goals coming from Sorloth, who spoke to Martin Einstein after the match.
Here we are with Alexander Sorloth, 2 goals tonight, an amazing performance. How do you feel?
Feel good. Always nice to score goals, especially at home in front of our fans. And yeah, pretty good game from us. I think first half was really good. Second half, we just secured a win. We know we have a tough game on Tuesday. How
important for you to score again? Very important goals for the club and for yourself.
No, it's important. And this can happen as a striker. You go in moments where you don't score, and you have to stay patient, stay strong in the head, always believe in yourself, and eventually the goals will come.
We saw that you quite didn't like to be sub. It's normal, right? You want to remain in the field, keep scoring goals, keep having opportunities. What do you think?
I think everyone would feel the same. I think you also would feel the same. If you have 2 goals, you always want to go for the hat-trick. So, yeah, you want to play the 90 minutes. You want to score more goals. I'm always hungry for more. So, yeah, of course, you're not going to be happy when you take enough. But, yeah, we have a lot of good players and we have a lot of games. So, that's it.
Alexander, how important is for a squad to have everybody ready? Today there were many changes, but still there was a very competitive team on the pitch who showed the coach that the competitiveness is high in the squad.
As you said, it shows that we have a really big squad, we have a really good squad, a lot of players who want to compete, and that's good because we're going to play a lot of games this season and we have to stay competitive. If we get injuries, we know we have players who can come in and perform. So, yeah, it was really good.
Barcelona is the next game. Is somehow the test to show Atletico de Madrid what is the level this season. Barcelona is always, you've beaten Barcelona last December. You lost here in March. And somehow it was the team that make you realize what was the level in the team. Do you think it would be a nice test for you?
Yeah, of course. And I think all of us, we like to play in the big games, like against Real Madrid at home. We beat them 5-2. We know we have the level required to win. So, yeah, I think all of us, we are looking forward to the big games. I'm looking forward to it.
How do you see it?
No, it's going to be a tough game. They are a good team. But I think the most important is to focus on ourselves, to have everybody ready to run, to fight, and then we have a big chance of winning the game.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Shaka Hislop is here, as is Don Hutchinson joins us as well. Shaka is my driver for the day today.
Yes, sir, yes.
Don, Shaka has the hottest car in the world. It's lovely.
He had it. Hold on, Don. He set it on high, on his side.
I didn't put it on high, did I?
I'm on like 70 or something like that.
I'm not going to come into your car and start playing with your buttons. It's your settings.
You're more than welcome to.
Hey, guess how many...
I've never got that. I've never got that, Dan. I don't know if it's just me, but in your car, I've got the same setting on one side that I've got on the other side, because what's the point in having 70 on one side and 30 on the other when all the air gets mingled together?
Yeah, but
surely you have the numbers exactly the same.
No, but in theory, I suppose the passenger might run a little cooler than, say, the Trinidad and Tobago former international.
Well, it also didn't help that he was wearing his winter coat in the car.
Oh, yes, that was a mistake.
So you had it on high and you kept your coat on.
Well, yeah.
And then and you're blaming me.
Don, do you know how many miles his car has done? Have a guess. Or his internet's dead?
Yeah.
Oh, knowing Shaq, about 150,000?
Not even close.
Double it.
No.
Yep. Was it
313 now. 313,000 miles.
313.
Just crossed the 313 mile barrier.
Wow. I know. Fear not
All those millions ESPN are paying him.
Yeah, the heating still works. Okay, Don, whose defence is worse? City, Liverpool, or Barca? Does Pep realise how bad it is?
Nah, Liverpool's is worse.
Yeah. I'd say Barca's
Liverpool's is worse. I mean, Hansi...
Nah.
Barca opened the door for everyone. Everyone
Hansi
can
Flick,
score against Barca.
I know, but Hansi Flick can, tweak things. Instead of being so high, just, find a middle ground and go 10 yards deeper.
He hasn't tweaked it, has he?
I know, well, he's stubborn. But Liverpool, you've got to say, Liverpool's is all over the place. I mean, 3 of the back 4, well, 4 if you include Van Dijk, but if you want to take Van Dijk out of the equation, you look at left back problem, right back, Bradley's injured, Frimpon's injured, Szoboszlai's got to go there, Konate's way out of form. So 3 out the back 4 for Liverpool are all over the place.
I'm with Don. That's all I have for you. I'm with Don on this.
I don't know, man. Barca are all over.
No, but you know Barcelona's problems. They play a high line, which they choose to. Even then, you've got a lot of running to do. Liverpool just seem to mess it up on the edge of their 6-yard box.
Don, what's the percentage chance that Sorloth doesn't make it through the end of the season?
Ooh, boy. Do you know what, Dan? I hope he does make it through at the end of the season, because I was chatting to someone today and I feel a little bit sorry for Arne Slot, because without going a little bit deep, he's probably grieving over the loss of Diogo Jota. The team obviously is feeling it as well. Andy Robertson said that when Scotland qualified for the World Cup, that he thought about his mate all day and all night. And if they do fire him, then another manager comes in. He's not coming into a normal Liverpool dressing room. He's coming into a grieving dressing room. I'd like to think that Arne Slot will relay that message to the hierarchy and say, listen, we're all struggling, but at the same time, football's football. You've got to try and be a bit of a realist. If he keeps losing games, then it might be a matter of time. I'd like to think he'll be okay, because at some point, they can't keep losing games, surely. At some point, they've got to turn it around. So to answer the question, I'm going to go 80% still in charge.
Shaka, is the goal that Adams scored on Rose the goalkeepers, is it the keeper's fault for being off his line, or is it on the outfield players for losing possession of the ball? If you didn't see it, it was just inside, wasn't it? The opposition's half.
Yeah, it was right on the edge of the D in Sunderland's half. That's the outfield players' fault. The way the game is played, what they ask of their goalkeepers. Hold on, I'm explaining that before you start laughing. The way the game is played and what they ask of their goalkeepers is you play this high line and Sunderland win comfortable possession, and the goalkeeper has to take that line as well. He has to push further out. That's what they ask of their goalkeepers. But then you give the ball away, you miss a challenge in midfield, and all of a sudden Tyler Adams has got the freedom of the park in the middle of the park and does what he did. So I don't blame the goalkeeper.
Are you buying what Mr. Hislop is selling,
Yes,
Don?
yes, he's buying. He's buying.
I am not buying what Xhaka is selling whatsoever. So the sweeper keeper now is dead, Shaq. Kasper Schmeichel got done. Robin Roof's got done. Stay on your line.
Well, you don't have to tell me. Hey,
bring up Kasper Schmeichel.
Right.
You've got any sort of tenuous link. Thomas Frank, De Zerbi, Graham Potter, Eric Ten Hag. Are these all examples, Don, of managers that can only find success in clubs that have a specific recruitment system and philosophy?
Oh, that's a little bit deep, isn't it, from Cordell?
It is quite deep of a Saturday evening.
De Zerbi's doing all right, isn't he?
He's doing all right, Marseille?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Zerbi's doing really well.
Potter, Ten Hag, I can't really see so good, so I'm having the lead forward.
All right, Shaq, it's okay. People can hear what you're saying.
I mean, it's
that's harsh.
a hell of a question.
I defended Thomas Frank. during the show.
Right.
And I stand by it.
What about Graham Potter?
Oh,
He's had quite a few chances at places, hasn't he? He's
Yeah.
mucked them up.
maybe he's just not up to speed then.
Up to speed.
Let's just go with that.
Surely down there, to Cordell's question,
Yes.
the recruitment system and philosophy, isn't that every single manager?
True, Don. Yes. So
Every
what's
single manager
wrong
needs
with
that,
Potter
so-
and Ten Hag and Frank?
Well, Potter got left an awful squad at West Ham, so I'll give him a little bit of an out. I mean, obviously, he bombed when he was at Chelsea, but off the West Ham squad, you know, that's why they're in the bottom three. Ten Hag was very stubborn at Man United when he was like Men in Black, wasn't he, when they played badly and he just wafted that little silver thing in front of your eyes and he convinced you that his team was playing well, but everyone in the world saw through it.
Oh.
I give Thomas Frank loads more time. I give Thomas Frank so much more time. He's got loads of credit in the bank.
Shaka, be honest.
I'm always honest, Dan.
How many times did you fake an injury as a tactical ploy to help your team, similar to what Donnarumma did today?
A lot.
Yeah, waste time.
Yeah. I'm controversial. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And I'd expect my teammates to do the same as well if they had the opportunity to roll around for a little.
Shaka, which goal were you most likely to concede in your playing days? Martinelli won versus Neuer. You wouldn't have come out that far, would you?
No.
Uber won versus Pope. Oh, Aubameyang versus Pope.
Aubameyang, okay. Which of the two? I'd been more likely to concede.
Or Wilson against Vicario.
Wilson and Vicario.
Yeah, so Vicario came out, obviously, and he curled it in. You wouldn't have come out that far either.
Well, Neuer wasn't coming out that far. Vicario won. Once you get the ball, you put that in the stand.
Right.
I don't know why you tried to.
You could have dealt with that.
Yeah, you just put that in the stand. You do so easily. Pope is easily the one I'm most likely to concede.
Of course, you discussed at length yesterday the new seeding policy with
Yeah.
the FIFA World Cup, meaning the top 4 teams won't meet in theory until the semi-final. Those teams are England, France, Argentina, and Spain. Which 2 of the top 4 seeds will not make it to the semi-finals, Don?
Also, not make it to the semi-finals.
2 of the top
Yes.
4 seeds. Remind me on the scenario with the seeds. What's the crack there?
Okay, so it's like Wimbledon, yeah? So you're going to have your 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds at the opposite end of the brackets, which means they can only meet in the semi-finals. The question is, of those 4 teams, who is likely not to make it through to the semi-final?
England, France,
Yeah,
Argentina, Spain.
Yes, I said that already.
I'm thinking. That's how I think.
Okay, all right.
Think out loud. France and Argentina is my answer.
We knew the answer.
France and Argentina is
They
my
won't
answer.
make it to the semi-finals.
Oh God, no.
France won't make it.
Nah.
Is that what you're saying, Shaq?
No, hold on. Well, England and Argentina are. So I see all of them getting to semi-final, but I think England and Argentina are the 2 least likely to get that far.
Right.
So if I had to pick 2 that won't make it there, it's England and
Well,
Argentina.
that's what the question is.
Well, I was thinking, wasn't I?
You said France for some reason to start with.
No, disregard that.
Don, do you need anything explained?
No, apparently I've frozen. I'm even looking at myself. I think I've frozen
No, you're fine.
listening
You're
to
fine.
Shaka's answer.
No, it's okay. You keep going.
For my brain, at this time of night, it's actually too complicated for me.
Oh, it's not that complicated.
Which two teams are going to go furthest in the competition? Let's just go with that.
2 teams are going to go furthest.
Which 2?
France will be one of them.
Right.
France will be one of them. I'm not sold on this Brazilian side.
Well, Brazil
said
aren't in the
Brazil?
top
I'm gonna go
4.
France
It's
and
England, France, Argentina, Spain.
Argentina.
Oh, this is making my stomach
France
hurt.
and Spain will go the furthest.
Say again? France and Spain.
That's what I said.
France and Spain will go the furthest.
That's what I said.
Right, good. That is it. What are you doing tomorrow, Don?
I'm off tomorrow.
West Ham, Liverpool.
Oh, interesting. Very good, Don. That's a great.
Easy 3 points for the Hammers there.
There you are. Shaka, you're off to see Zootopia
I'm going to see Zootopia with the family.
I look forward to your review on that.
I'm really excited.
There we go. ESPN FC returns to your screens tomorrow then.